I'm Ian, Nicholas in the novels, an old man now, almost 70, with quite a story to tell about a 17-year-old teenage girl, who as you'll soon see, was one of two identical girls, and their joint true love, a young teenage guy of 18. Okay, that fortunate young guy, was me, and since I'm hardly young anymore, I'm going to switch places with my younger self, then in the South African Air Force, drafted to fight in a war as senseless as Vietnam was for my counterparts in the USA, to tell that story. But this is going to be a somewhat more light-hearted look at my old nightmare, as sometimes fighting traumatic events with humor, makes them seem less scary. It's like laughing in the face of a dragon, spewing fire. But before I do any of that, it's worth mentioning that Jennifer's mother intercepted and threw away my letters. That led to me losing touch with my true love, or in this case, loves. Worse yet, she'd pleaded with me to never just disappear out of her life without an explanation, but now, from her perspective, that's exactly what I'd done. 2 years later, with Jennifer almost lost to me, I bribed my administrative flight sergeant with a case of his favorite Scotch whiskey, asking for his help. He gave me a week's leave over the Christmas holidays, to see if I could find and reconnect with my lost love, Jennifer, from my youth. As you can surmise from this painting I had done of our reunion, we did. I'd run up behind her, walking next to the beach in her pale blue bikini, surprising her by hugging her from behind as I called out her name. She immediately twisted around to look into my eyes, searching. It was a bold gamble on my part, as that could have led to either a slap in the face, or a passionate kiss. But both of those would end the uncertainty that had been milling around in my mind for the 2 lost years of our love story. As you can surmise from this photo collage, it resulted in tears, a passionate kiss, and then lots of questions. The answers to her questions were not what she'd been expecting, what she'd been told to believe by her mother. Her mother's dastardly plan to foil our love was exposed. Her plan had failed. Jennifer and I were back together again, our love growing stronger and faster than ever before. We very quickly built our mature romance upon the foundations of our childhood romance, from when we'd said farewell at 17 and 18. But now we were almost adults, at 20 and 19, she a sophomore at UCT, me about to join her there as a freshman. In high school I was 1 year ahead of her, but after 2 years in the Air Force, I was now 1 year behind her. So what's this hint of a love triangle all about? That may sound a titch confusing, so let me elaborate. Jennifer's dad had taken 2 photos of her, she's Elizabeth in the novels, at age 17, just minutes apart. The roll of film was stuck on the last frame, so the ensuing negative is what's known as a double exposure. The 2 images of Jennifer, dressed identically, are superimposed one on the other, neither perfectly clear, giving the photo a dreamlike look and feel, with Jennifer on the left looking up at herself, up on center stage, somewhat in awe. That's a really nice photo, but it also provided the perfect image for a nightmare, mine. Since the 2 Jennifers and me are going to interact in this unusual real-life love triangle, I'm going to choose 2 period photos of Jennifer for telling this tongue-in-cheek version of our joint love story. This picture of Jennifer is left-leaning, so she'll act as the Jennifer on the left, Jen. And this other picture of Jennifer is right-leaning, so she'll act as the Jennifer on the right, Jenny. That's how you'll know them apart, though that word is rather misleading, since they're actually one and the same Jennifer, times 2, both of whom I love, and both of whom love me. From now on in this story, to avoid confusion, Jen will be the one on the left, Jenny the one on the right. So this delightful young lady is Jen. In this story, Jen has an unhealthy dependence on her mother's approval, which conveniently always stays out of reach, so Jen tries ever harder to get it, and of course, fails. And this alluring young lady is Jenny. Jenny is a free spirit, always wanting to run away with me to get away from mother's iron-fisted control of her life. Jenny is beautiful, very passionate, assertive, a romantic dreamer. Jen is stridently seductive, rather inviting me to come to her, to take the lead. Though their dreams and personalities are somewhat different, Jenny loves me, and Jen loves me too. As you can see, I love them both. I have the sort of mind that can't easily let go of traumatic memories. For Jen and I, being forcibly separated by her mother, even as an engaged couple, to the far corners of the world, Canada and Cape Town, was about as traumatic as can be. By now you know that I not only love Jen, I adore her. We're so close, joined at the hip, that neither of us have really close friends, just each other. We do have friends, but just ones we hang out with together, as a couple. Because we've lived a life on the run, like two runaway gypsies in love, that doesn't happen often, perhaps 2 or 3 times a year. Since we left the work and office scene 25 years ago, Jen doesn't go out with girlfriends, or guys. I don't go out with guys, or women. But before you feel sorry for us, don't. We spend as much time together as we possibly can, simply because we both prefer it that way. More so now after Jen's bilateral breast cancer, both breast, twice in her 60s. We treasure every moment together. Both Jen and her sister, who died of breast cancer at 61, were doomed by their mother to get breast cancer by their 60s. That was their only inheritance. Their DNA was damaged in utero by their mother's use of diethylstilbestrol during both her pregnancies in the 1950s. Even 54 years later, the two of us simply disappear from the real world, for weeks, even months at a stretch, twice now, for years. For the last 20 years we've been hidden away inside a national park, high up in the mountains of Panama, in our cottage next to the river with its waterfalls and pools. We met and fell in love in the Wilderness National Park in Africa, at 15 and 16. It had similar natural beauty, rivers, waterfalls, pools, beaches, sea and lakes. We always dreamed of living in a place like that. We do. For 20 years already. When I first saw this photo her dad had taken, of her as a 17-year-old high school girl, a double exposure, my mind immediately wondered. What if there were 2 actual Jennifers? Like in the photo? I mean, being able to love just one Jennifer is easy, but being able to be with each other, was, for 7 years and 7 months, at times, a forlorn hope. So what if there were 2 actual Jennifers? Not twins. For the sake of clarity, let's call the one on the left, Jen, the one on the right, Jenny. In reality they're both Jennifer, only one person, but not in my nightmare. What if both Jen and Jenny loved me? Which they do, and I loved them both. Which I do. What if I was forced to choose only one of them? How would I ever choose between them? Worse yet, what if I had to choose only one of them to marry and spend my entire life with? Who would I choose? Jen. Or Jenny? Letting my mind wander in flights of fantasy, at a time when we were being traumatized, in total 7 times in 7 years, by her mother forcibly separating us from each other, was, in hindsight, a big mistake. My waking mind could not let go of that terrifying thought, but worse yet, my sleeping mind couldn't either. And it's way more creative. Thus was born my recurring nightmare, and it's plagued me for 50 years, until recently. I've inadvertently fueled that nightmare by taking photos of Jennifer in the exact same places, years apart, in this case, the same staircase in the Banff Springs Hotel, but 30 years apart, at 37 and 67. In years gone by, in the grips of my recurring nightmare, as I try to cry out in my sleep, Jen places her hand on me, awakening me, rescuing me from the grips of my nightmare, saying, "It's okay, Ian, I'm still here with you. There's only me." The really traumatic part of my nightmare revolves around them both finally confronting me, demanding I choose only one of them, and leave the other, their alter ego, to an uncertain fate. One would think this makes my choice, in my recurring nightmare, easy. I mean, Jenny wants to break free, to run away with me. Whilst Jen wants to maintain contact with her super-controlling mother, who hates me. But by choosing Jenny, tempting as that was, I'd be abandoning Jen. I'd condemn Jen to a horrible fate. Jen's younger sister, who died of breast cancer at 61, found that much out, to her chagrin. Her life was ruined by mother. I'm not a prince, they tend to be spoiled, entitled. I'm a knight. I rescue damsels in distress, saving them from their dragons, not running away and leaving them to be held captive by the dragon. Knights fight to rescue damsels in distress. As a result, I've had to endure a lot of wounds. At times very serious ones, but I always rebound, then redouble my efforts to fight the dragon and rescue the damsel in distress. Jenny, incensed that the dragon wanted to keep her a captive, to deny her a life of her own, to kill her knight, was more inclined to slay her own dragons. Jen was much more submissive, more accepting of the dragon's power over her, scared, not daring to fight back. Of course, stuck in the middle of those two, is me, Ian. In my nightmare, as in real life, I couldn't give up on Jen, or Jenny, ever. I just cannot. Part of me wanted to rescue Jen, to save her from the dragon, from a truly horrible fate. The other part of me wanted to run away with Jenny, race away with her on my horse, to freedom in a land far, far away. But in reality, I'd never be able to live happily ever after, knowing I'd left Jen as the dragon's captive. Ideally, Jen and Jenny needed to merge into a new grown-up, more confident woman, whom we'll call Jennifer. She'd be funny, confident, beautiful, sassy. We'd run away together, to the land of far, far away, and live there happily ever after. As you may have guessed, Jennifer eventually appeared, after several years, though I did see heartwarming progress in both Jen and Jenny, long before then. Meanwhile, in the grips of my nightmare, I end up frantic, severely wounded, writhing in my sleep, my heart pounding, trying to cry out, "No. I'll never abandon either of you, ever. I cannot choose only one of you, please don't make me choose. If I do, the other one of you, and me, will die. My choice, be that Jen or Jenny, will be left all alone." That's a lose-lose proposition, it's just not the best solution to our problem. I'll rejoin this unusual developing love story again, at the end, but for now, I'm handing over the task of storytelling to my much younger alter ego, and to Jen and Jenny, all of us at appropriate ages. Get ready to watch this love triangle quickly grow very intense, for all three of us. In this video, we're going to use humor to diminish the nightmare stress. In this video we're also going to have some fun with a rather vexing recurring old nightmare of mine. Hey, why not? That's one surefire way of dealing with the very real fear instilled in me by that nightmare, that keeps repeating, for decades already. In my recurring nightmare, as I reluctantly look like I'm about to choose Jenny on the right, Jen on the left starts to cry. Then I relent, starting to change my mind, and Jen on the left starts to smile through her tears, hopeful, but sensing my change of heart, now Jenny on the right starts to cry. At this point I'm deeply unhappy, sad, but thankfully I always wake up before I choose, quite happy that there's only one Jennifer. That's a nightmare of the worst kind, since at least 2 hearts were about to be broken, mine and Jennifer's, forever. In reality, or in my dreams, I just can't deal with that. I simply cannot choose. If I choose only one, I'll basically have to give up on loving Jennifer. By now you know, I simply cannot not love Jennifer. Welcome. I'm Ian of the Twins Nightmare, at age 20. Let's see if we can solve the dilemma of choosing only one Jennifer by taking a slightly different approach. Since the binary choice in that nightmare has never worked, and you'll soon see why, it's time to get creative. Well, hello my 2 favorite girls in the whole wide world. What brings you to my hideaway, and each one of you carrying what looks to me like Valentine's Day gifts? I mean, that's still months away, and it's not my birthday. Am I missing any important anniversary, maybe?
Ian, Jenny and I have been talking, seriously, and we've come to the conclusion that though we both love you, and you love us both, it's finally time for you to choose just one of us. Yes Ian, Jen and I have given this much thought, and we both agree. We need you to commit to just one of us from now on.
But Jen, what if I don't choose you? How would that make you feel? It would devastate me, for sure.
Ian, I'm heartened by the tone of your words to Jen, since it seems you're favoring me over her, and though my heart breaks for her, please know this. I love you, I always have, and I always will, so please don't waver, please choose me.
Jenny, please don't let me mislead you, I've not chosen you, or Jen.
Please Ian, don't even think about not choosing me. You'd break my heart. I'm your Juliet, and you know that. I even have the hostile family to validate my claim. Just in case you're tempted to rather choose Jenny, do you remember our first kiss? On the banks of the river in the Wilderness National Park, at the Christmas Eve dance, when I was not quite 15? I sure do. And do you remember my first, of many, love letters to you? I see you still have the photo I sent you, and on the back I'd written, with all my love. I meant it then, I still do. That letter was a huge gamble, as I was brutally honest about my feelings for you, my love for you. Even in my darkest hours, you've known how much I love you. Since Jen has already made a strong case for you choosing her, not me, I'd like to remind you that even if you'd kissed her first, you sure made up for that, and kissed me, passionately, many times, in our secret place. And if that's not enough, I came very close, on that first day there with you, of losing my virginity. Do you remember? I think that sure trumps your Christmas Eve first kiss with Jen. Don't you? I mean, I'm really enjoying thinking and talking about us in our secret place, so much so that I need to use our safe word again, to calm down, as before, a word that only you and I fully understand, waterfall. I'm not sure Jen can top that. I think you know what awaits you if you choose me. I'll let you take me upriver in a canoe again, to our waterfall, and Ian, I'll not use our secret word again, there, as a timeout. And do you know what that means?
Right now, even given both of your impassioned pleas, I simply cannot choose, at least not yet.
Ian, Jenny is fighting very dirty, in more ways than one, so I'm going to have to up my game plan too. After you propose to me, and rest assured, I'll accept. I want us to have a small, quick wedding, as Mother will never allow Dad to walk me down the aisle or for any family to be there anyway. So Ian, I want us to be married at Fairy No, the site of our first kiss, then I'd like you to take me up the river in a canoe, to your and Jenny's beautiful waterfall, and for us to consummate our marriage there. If we time that all right, for the middle of my monthly cycle, we'll conceive our love child right there, and then. Ian, I want your babies. Several boys, all who'll look like you, and girls, all who'll look like me. I want a big family with you, and we'll all love you, we'll be such a happy family. So please say that I'll be yours, and you'll be mine, forever and ever.
I love you so much, Ian.
More than life itself.
I'm your Juliet, so please, my Romeo, ignore my family's rejection of you.
I choose you.
Please save my life, choose me as your true love, your only love, your forever love.
Oh my word, Jen. That's a whole new level of mean. I cannot let that go unchallenged.
I mean, our secret place is hallowed ground for Ian and me.
How could you?
Okay Ian, it's time to put an end to Jen's silliness. I want you to take me to Fairy No, for a romantic Christmas, as all of Jen and your, as well as my and your summer romances always happened over the Christmas holidays, between 1971 and 1977. Of course it's coincidentally Jen's hallowed ground, the site of your and her first kiss on Christmas Eve in 1971. So that's where, in the moonlight, under the same tall palm tree, on the river's bank, on Christmas Eve again, I'll kiss you, passionately, but with intent. It may have been the scene of Jen's first kiss with you, but I promise, soon after I kiss you there, you'll forget her kiss, and remember only mine, and a lot more. Ian, do you remember how, on Christmas Day in 1975, after you and I met again in such a romantic way, I gave you a special Christmas gift? And how you whispered in my ear, as I was sitting on your lap, my arms around your neck, that it was your best Christmas gift, ever? Well, prepare to whisper those words into my ear once again. That is what awaits you in our hotel room, on the banks of the Wilderness River, but this time I'll let you unwrap your Christmas gift. Ian, Jen's wrong. At age 20, I doubt very much you're ready for having to deal with a whole bunch of babies yet.
I'm not in a huge hurry for babies. We need a few years of regular practice, first.
As part of that process to get ready to be a daddy, you'll get to play with, well, let's just say, my kitty, my sweet, soft, loving little girl, whom I've been very protective with, till now. She'll be all yours to enjoy too, Ian, forever. Ian, children will happen for us too, all in good time. At our waterfall with you one Christmas Eve, I wished upon a star for at least 2 sons. Do you remember?
For now, let's just agree that practice, lots and lots of practice, makes perfect. I trust I've aroused your curiosity, and maybe a bit more than that?
Ian, I love you.
Please choose me.
I may as well be dead if you don't choose me, since if you don't, my heart would break and I doubt I'll ever stop crying.
Tough as it is for you two girls to imagine, I can envisage a time, 30 or more years into the future, when I still love you both, equally, and you still both love me. For now, please be nice to each other. You've ruffled each other's feathers a bit. There's no real reason to be mean. I know you've been best friends for life, please don't let that ever change. We all love each other, so let's find a solution, for all of us, built on our mutual love and respect for each other. I'm going to retreat to the safety of my treehouse now, as I've got a lot of thinking to do. You two beautiful, fabulous ladies, have just made my life extremely difficult. Though I do understand your concerns, right now I'd feel less stressed being chased by hungry lions. There has to be an equitable solution to this shared dilemma of ours, one that will not break our hearts. Please give me time to reflect, to think, and to pray, fervently. Please do the same, both of you. Be nice to each other and keep open minds, as there may well be a better way out of our dilemma, that you've just not thought of, yet. In my nightmares, these two Jennifers are way more dramatic, employing tears, crying out like wounded deer, everything and anything. It's so stressful that before I awake, my heart pounds in my chest, my body writhes, and as I start to awake, I'm aware that I was trying to cry out, in vain, in my sleep. Jen is the part of Jennifer's persona that eventually caved under her mother's pressure. As my fiancé, agreeing to go back to captivity in faraway Canada. Jenny is the part of Jennifer's persona that arose in Canada. She secretly planned to become my beautiful runaway bride. After I took Jen and Jenny to Canada, back to mother, thinking she'd soften her stance towards Jennifer and I, big mistake, Jen and Jenny suffered through a lengthy, uneasy, coexistence. I suffered along with both of them, trying to be supportive. But secretly I encouraged Jenny to dominate the emerging Jennifer's persona. Then one day, in our late 40s, as you'll see in part 3 below, the very dramatic conclusion to this story, God intervened, literally. Jen merged with Jenny, and has never reappeared. Now there's only one Jennifer, part demure, part bold, sassy, which makes her lively, bold, full of spirit, cheeky, but oh so seductive. One would think my nightmare was now gone forever. Well, it's a form of PTSD, from the years of trauma imposed on us by her cruel mother, now almost 94, and still meaner than ever. So no, it takes more for that trauma to be erased from my subconscious mind. As you'll see, that seems to have happened now. Time will tell.
Jenny, I'm your great-grandpa on your dad's side of the family, Reverend John Harvey. My wife Rose and I are his grandparents. You great-grandma Rose and I are exceptionally proud of you. You did exactly what she did a century earlier, running away from England, in her case, Canada in yours, both of you to marry your true loves in Africa. If not for Rose's brave decision, our daughter, your Granny Louise, and her son, your dad Douglas, would not have existed, and you'd not have existed either. Neither would your sons be standing with you on the steps of the church in which you were married. My old church. Ian, choosing Rosebank Methodist Church for your wedding when the nearby Presbyterian church was not available, seemed, at the time, to be a random choice, but it wasn't. Jenny, that was your destiny. Your mother ensured that your dad wasn't there to walk you down the aisle, to give you away to Ian, and that no relatives were there with you either, or so she thought. But all of us had called this church home in the 1890s. You were not alone, Jenny, we were all there with you. Jenny, you didn't plan to get married in my old church, that was God's plan. And you really did use great-grandma Rose's old heirloom French engagement ring as your wedding ring, without knowing you were getting married in her and my old church. But when you were signing the registry, your mother's spitefully planned lack of any family support for you suddenly hit home, as can easily be seen in this photo. But Jenny, if you can wrap your mind around what I'm about to say, you were not alone on your wedding day, abandoned and shunned by your family. You didn't plan to get married in my old church, that was God's plan. We were all there with you, and you really did use great-grandma Rose's old heirloom French engagement ring as your wedding ring. Though it was not your plan, having forgotten your own ring in the apartment in the rush to get to the church, late as you were, in the end, you simply had no other choice. Jenny, when you walked out Rosebank Methodist Church, a married woman, we were all there watching you, proud of you. There were 4 French runaway brides there together that day. My wife Rose, our two oldest daughters Em and Maud, and you. As a reverend with a lot of experience in such matters, I'll let you in on a little secret, Jenny, it was all planned, just not by you. Back then you just were not ready, yet, to see the bigger picture, God's exquisite plan for your life. But now you are.